Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Today is October 24th, 2018, and it's just such an exciting time to be here with Team Prosperity and be a part of it. You know, we're all making it happen, and I'm really excited for our training today. I've got a few announcements that I'm going to go over. I'm really excited to bring up Diana. I know she's got some great stuff that she wants to discuss. And I'm also very much looking forward to Mike's PowerPoint that he's put together. So while we're waiting for people to come in, we'll go ahead and get into it. Like I said, I've got a few announcements. The first announcement, if anybody was on the Saturday call, or I'm sorry, not on the Saturday call, on the Tuesday call yesterday, you did see there was a highly inappropriate language slip up on one of the videos that wasn't meant to play. So there's a deep apology about that. I did receive an apology from the founders, and they're going to cut it out of the recording. So just wanted to make you aware that that's not a normal thing. It's never happened before, and it's never happened again. The next thing that I want to discuss is the amount of memes that are going into our Team Prosperity group. I personally think they're great, but they're really meant to be for our personal Facebook pages as well as our other social media pages. Everybody in our Team Prosperity group is already in the company. So I feel like a lot of the valuable information, like the data, the stuff about the meetings, the important stuff about the company that helps you grow your business is getting drowned out a little bit by some of our memes. And I'm probably more at fault than anybody, and for those that don't know what the meme is, it's like a picture with some words on it. Let's try not putting those in the Facebook Team Prosperity group and just stick to data and relevant things to help you build your business. So like I said, starting today, I'm going to stop posting my memes in there. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is if you're doing a text message and you want somebody to look at the link in both videos via text message, I've found from experience that your /anywhere page is going to show up really, really well. It's going to show up as one page with both videos versus like texting the /direct or the /agent pro. I would stick with on text message going with a /anywhere. So if you need my help with, that, let me know. The next thing that I want to discuss is I had a long talk with Transamerica in their licensing department, and they did let me know that because their turnaround time, is 3 to 5 business days right now for processing licenses, once it's showing pending on the Transamerica Life side, we're able to go ahead and submit our living benefits term and the regular term business. Just make sure that you're using the correct business address in Clemmons, North Carolina. So far, everybody on this call still has my business address, or mine and Mike's business address in Clemmons, North Carolina. So as long as that's done correctly and your appointment is pending, you should be able to submit business. It might go on hold for a day or two, but it definitely won't bounce back. So if you need my help with that, let me know. And the last thing that I wanted to discuss was just a cool little thing that I heard Mike Hinsberg talk about this week, and I wrote it down and I thought this would be valuable for some of our consultants to hear. He was saying that, in the traditional industry when he used to meet with people, if they had a hard time making a decision about which policy that they wanted to go with and which one was most suitable for them, he would ask them, well, is the issue me, first and foremost? If it's not, then is it the company? If not, is it the money? And, most of the time it's the money. And he would always say, well, is this not enough coverage? Do you want to look at something bigger? And, that's just kind of a good way to get it started. But most of the time they would want something lower. So he would just offer 2 options. For example, okay, would you be more comfortable with 250 or 200? And they would pick one, and that would help them make an educated decision as well as get the coverage that they needed for their families. So I thought that was a cool little tidbit for some of the consultants that I heard this week. So that's really the notes that I had and the questions that I had come up this week. I've had some great talks with Diana, and me and her are really close, and she's got some really, really great stuff that she's going to share with us, and I'm really looking forward to that. So Diana, honey, if you want to *6, you should be able to unmute yourself and go right ahead.
Hey, Alana. Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you perfect, honey. Go right ahead.
Awesome. Awesome. Good morning, good afternoon, guys. Thank you all for having me on here. Let me speak. Mike and Alana, always great, to be on this meeting. And anybody that's, going to be listening to the recording, thank you for taking your valuable time, to watch the recording. We're all here learning and helping each other. So, yeah, I'm just going over some things. I always try and catch up with Mike and Alana as much as I can throughout the weeks, letting them know what's going on, with the 12-week year group and, just business partners coming on board in general. And went over some new things that have been happening. Had some wonderful people that I had the pleasure of bringing on board recently, and Alana really wanted me to, share some of the stuff that's been going on. So, really wanted to talk about what you see on the screen there, Build a Better Tomorrow. Really sums up what we're doing here. We have something so special for people that they can build a better tomorrow for themselves or somebody they know, something really special. Anybody from any background that can come on board, learn and follow our system. And I think one of the most important parts of that system, is the training sale. And it's always, been brought up to me from several partners, something hard to talk about. We have so many PowerPoints that we go over all the time. The one business partner I brought on board, Johanna, she really, when I explained things to her and as she was going through her tier training, she really pointed something out to me that was really an eye-opener and actually really gave me goosebumps the way she had worded it. So as you're talking to, your new business partners or potential people, potential business partners that you're bringing on board, something that she brought to my attention that just really makes sense, and I've never heard anybody say it yet here with virtual on all the trainings. She put it to me the way that she explained it that opened my eyes is you're basically paying it forward to that inviter that brought you on board. They're the ones that are going to be helping you. If it's an inviter manager, they're going to be doing a little mentoring, coaching, through the system. And when she said paying it forward, it just really opened my eyes. So I just wanted you guys to maybe have that kind of mindset in the back of your head as you're talking to people and explaining. To me, it's in a more positive way and not so much a negative way. People, early on when we presented the training sale, and a lot of people said it was, it was so hard and difficult they didn't want to bring up the conversation. So to me, when she said paying it forward, it just made it flow a lot better as I was talking to the two other partners that I brought on board, and it really made sense to them when I explained it. So now before I even start my tier 2, I really go through the circle explaining the tiers, going over the importance of the different tracks in that training sale and, putting it to them that way that it's, paying it forward. And if they do the fast track, they'll get unlimited, received to them. And, getting somebody to go through that circle, us bringing them around it once, and then they go get 3 people, and they do the fast track, they're at vice president level. And then just a matter of a handful more people, they'll be at senior vice president. So, just kind of change your thinking on that, getting those like-minded people that see it, and, change that to, paying it forward in your, maybe your verbiage too, as you're talking to the new people coming on board. You just want to have, the right people and take those extra few times of talking to them about the system and the training sale. It's just added weight if you don't. Bringing in people that you're going to have to carry through, they're like added bricks in your backpack on that mountain climb up to senior vice president. You don't need that. You want the like-minded people that get this and see it and, want to run with it. So I just wanted to go over that one. Not everybody is, going to see our system as a good fit, and it's fine. I had that with a couple of people this last week. It's not for them, which is okay, and it's good that it's okay, because then you're going to bring in the wrong people, and you're just carrying them through. Maybe they don't like McDonald's. I just, was telling Alana, maybe they don't like McDonald's, and they'd rather go to Taco Bell or Pizza Hut. To me, it's okay. Don't get frustrated. Be okay that they don't see our system and want to do this. Like I said, we're not for everybody, and that's fine. Something that was brought up a couple weeks ago, also I wanted to go over this in our 12-week year group. Big shout out to Linda, Mola, Fritz Nigler, and Wade Lassiter. You guys rock, and I'm so happy to be on, the 12-week year group with you guys. I don't know if you all know a lot about Fritz's background. He's so quiet. He's a really shy guy. He is a retired fireman. And so when we talk about people from all walks of life, his ears must be burning throughout the week, because in my conversations, his name gets brought up a lot because he's a really good go-to guy for Team Prosperity that didn't have that industry experience. He's got a different background. So yeah, he went out and got his license, passed the test, and he's part of our team. For people that don't have that background, it's a little bit hard for them to open up the conversations. And he did the fast track. He's, doing the resume leads. I went ahead, and we have another wonderful business partner with Team Prosperity, Bob Gilmore, very awesome friend. Bob and I chat, text each other, gosh, at least once a week. Always, keeping each other on our toes. Hey, how's it going? Great job on, whoever we just brought on board, asking tips, helpful tips for each other too. Bob's got a great background too. He ran a call center. And so one of the questions, that was in my 12-week year group in regards to the resume and like cold calling, especially for Fritz to open up those conversations, not be so shy, trying to get that conversation open. Worked with Bob on some scripts, and he's a really good go-to guy on opening up the conversations. He had created some other scripts for himself besides the ones that we have, in our back office. So just leaning on him and asking, hey, I have somebody that really needs to open up these conversations. What could be changed or tweaked, So as you're talking to people, if you guys have done the fast track and you have access to that resume database, some of the bullet points I wanted to go over that he shared with me that seemed to really help out, as you're, got the person live on the phone or even leaving a message, just really, warm up to those people, run with it. The first thing he told me is you want to repeat the person's name, several times in that conversation. So you're not just saying, hey, Alana, this is Diana from Virtual Financial. You want to say, besides your introduction, hi, Alana, this is Diana Barella from Virtual Financial. I got your number from your resume. Have their resume open in front of you. And what he told me is he takes some little bullet points off of the resume. Hey, Alana, I saw you were in, Medicare. You used to be in real estate. Take some of those bullet points to factor in that conversation. The more that you say the names, you're getting their attention drawn to you more and more to actually listen to your conversation. Alana, after looking at your resume, I'm wondering if you would be open to a solid business opportunity. Then I just start over some of the bullet points, like what Bob was giving me tips. This is 100% virtual. You could do this from anywhere, anywhere you can connect online, no brick and mortar meetings to drive to, part-time, full-time opportunities as little as 15, 20 hours a week. You don't have to come in wearing all the hats. We have different roles that you can choose from. That's really key to people because if they don't have that background, when you hear Virtual Financial, they assume they're going to need to have that insurance background. So when you tell people they can come on board, don't have to, wear all the hats, they can just choose from, whatever role that they want to, do with their company. It really opens up their eyes, too, to wanting to watch those videos. Would you be open to, watching 2 short videos? I could send you, an email with 2 short videos. Can you take a look at those today, Alana? You just want to keep emphasizing on their name. When you leave the message, same thing, hey, Alana, this is Diana with Virtual Financial. Got your phone number from resume. After looking at your resume, I was wondering if you'd be open to looking at a solid business opportunity, part-time, full-time opportunity. You don't have to wear all the hats, coming into our company, 100% virtual. Just give a couple of bullet points. I just found for me, and as, you're leaving that message saying their name, in that message, I got a greater response on the return call. So I had more people calling me by the end of the day, hey, I got your message. I really want to know more about that information that you're giving me on that message. So my advice to you guys is to, yeah, just try and factor in that person's name, saying it several times in the conversation, and give those little bullet points. When Mike gives out, I think on the strategy call, the zip folder, there's the talking points, rebuttals, phone scripts. I just take bits off of all of those, you know, take bits and pieces, little bullet points here and there. It really helps, you know, to have that in your conversation. And like I said, it really had a return call for me, you know, greater return on leaving those messages when I said the person's name at least 3 times, and make sure you're leaving your name and number twice, you know, on the message to repeat it so they, you know who's calling them and to call, you know, the number to call back. You know, but I hope you guys, you know, get something out of this, you know, with the tips, and also don't forget about changing, you know, around with the training sale, you know, thinking of it as a pay it forward. And, you know, remember, it's not about where you begin, especially with this. It's where you end up and, you know, the distance that you've covered here with Virtual Financial. So I hope everybody has a great week. Thank you all for letting me say those few words. Mike and Alana, it's back to you. Thank you guys so much, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Great advice, Diana. And you're making it happen every day. So we're so excited for your future. I know you're going to hit the SVP mark soon, and thank you for sharing all of those goodies with us. It's highly appreciated. Let me go ahead and grab Mike, and he's going to share his PowerPoint with you.
All right, everybody, we've got a lower turnout than normal. It's 100% my fault. I sent too many emails out of my regular Gmail. I got a couple of email accounts, and I just got those confused yesterday. So the emails that went out today came from a separate account. I will post the recording. It'll be available. You know, I'll send it out, put it in the YouTube channel and on the Facebook group. You guys, when you're talking about this opportunity with people, there's a lot of things that have to go on, but Diana is exactly correct. You have to show interest in the other person. You have to ask questions. If you overpower the conversation and just continue to, you know, throw up on these people with all the information, it's not going to go anywhere. You're going to get interest from the other side by showing interest in them, and that's a very important point that Diana made. So I appreciate that, Diana. A couple of things that we've got going on. You know, in the summer, we went hot and heavy with social media, got a lot of feedback, too much information, going too fast, slow down. So I just kind of put that on a pause for a number of weeks, and we're just doing some general stuff, mindset, you know, overall helpful tips to help you guys, you know, get in the position that you need to have effective conversations. Another thing that Diana just mentioned, we all come from different walks, different backgrounds. So somebody that comes like from a background like Fritz, you know, the learning curve is going to be a little bit longer than somebody who's, you know, had a career on the phone. And that's what this platform is definitely designed to do, to help people in whatever capacity for whatever time period they need. So all we're asking people to do in the beginning is have activity, be accountable to the activity, reflect, learn, and grow. Going back to the social media, we are going to get back into that towards the year end. So the last 6 weeks or so of the year, we're going to get into a lot of social media because now the feedback's coming back. I want social media. Let's get back into it, and the new people are asking for it as well. So we are definitely getting back into social media, and 2019 is going to be a big year for us to really go out and attack these platforms and really extract value from that. A quick note starting out today, if you are a manager, or really even if you're an inviter as well, and you've got people coming in and they need to take the test, we've talked about this, guys. That testing material is very dry, very boring. It's a one-and-done test. So what you need to do over those periods of weeks while you're waiting for them to get the test passed, to get back on the track, to get the Tier 6 done, strategy call, social media call, just encourage people. You know, touch base, encourage, support, and push those testers to get it done. You do not want the breaking point for somebody leaving your organization to to be because of the test. So encourage them, let them know, yes, it's not very exciting material, just get it done. And follow up. If you are a manager and you have not talked to a tester in a week or two, it's a bad sign for the retention of that prospect. Once again, push people through these tests. Also, guys, expectations, not only for new people, but existing people. You have to let them know, what's expected. What do I need to do to reach my goals here? How do I get to the next, stepping stone that leads me up into where I want to go? And also, for the people that have been in here for a while, set up some expectations. It should be an open line of communication between a manager and a partner. And it's very important because if you just lead people out to do whatever they're going to do on their own, they're going to drift. And then like we talk about, that white space on the calendar starts to, have doubt creep in. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe this isn't for me. And that eventually leads to somebody quitting. Constant communication. We're not in a physical office. We're not having 8 meetings a day. We're not listening to people's phone calls. You have to keep an open line of communication, but it should be positive. Remember, manage from an inspirational point. Also, this has come up quite often lately. Yes, we do take people with securities licenses, and we do have an opportunity to have them work both sides of the business, Virtual Financial as well as WealthWave. However, it's more restrictive than the life side. When we bring people in on the life side, we allow them to marry multiple opportunities together. Not a big deal. If they're in a non-captive position, we allow them to kind of stick their foot in our water, get inundated with our company culture process, and then see where things go. On securities license, it's a little bit different in terms of the platform compliance. There's 3 different ways that you can look at this. If somebody has an active license with no book of business, yeah, we can welcome them in. If they have an active license with a book of business that they're looking to move, yeah, let's talk to them. However, the third one is a knockout. If they have an active license with an active book of business that they're not looking to move, it's going to cause compliance issues. They're not going to be able to get through that platform, through that compliance loop to get approved. So that's very important. So the only real knockout, securities license that's active with an active book of business that they're not looking to move, it's a no-go from our side. Also, as you guys are doing these iGo e-apps, you spent time on the phone with these people. An extra 5 minutes is not going to hurt. Make sure they receive the email, they understand how to use DocuSign, and they get it done. The last thing that you want to do, create more work for yourself by chasing people for these e-signatures. It's just an ineffective way to run your business. That's just additional work that should never really have to be there if you did your job at the end of that call. And then B, those expire. So, it creates a lot of havoc and chaos for you on a daily basis where you could just nip that in the bud from the very start by just making sure that you stay on the phone, getting that application e-signed, because as soon as you do, remember, it's a 40% advance on the submission of that policy. Also, our Facebook group is a closed group, so we get a lot of people inviting people, and we would love to have people in our Facebook group, but they have to be partners. We give a lot of information that's specific to our team. We give a lot of data that helps our team grow. So we want to make sure that people in the Facebook group that are benefiting from that information are partners. So if you invite people that aren't partners and they get declined, that's the reason why. It's not that we're picking and choosing who comes in. They just have to be a partner. We talk about this a lot, guys, but it's a mindset that you need to get into. And digital disruption is, it's about new business models. It's not just a technology shift. So when you have new business models and that innovation, unlocks new value, it's huge opportunities. So it's not just about the disruption. It's not just about the technology. It's about having new business models that are better, more efficient, more profitable, and easier in terms of the barriers of entry. If you really want the key to success, you got to start by doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. So when you get out there and you're talking to people, they don't understand what we're doing, don't believe it's going to work, think that they have to do business the same way they've been doing it for the last 20 years, it's fine. We're not going to argue with them. We're not going to rebuttal. We're not going to explain. We wish them the best of luck going forward. Those people indirectly will make you lots and lots of money. If everybody saw this and everybody was coming on board, wouldn't be such a great opportunity. You get richly rewarded for being able to step out of that herd mentality, see things develop ahead of the curve, come in and stake your claim. By the time this hits an inflection point where more and more and more and more people see this, that's when the later stages are not such a great opportunity. You guys are in a prime position right now to take advantage of the early mover. We're a digital marketing organization. It's very important. If somebody comes in and they are not tech savvy, they refuse to use social media, they don't want to do this or that that's associated with being part of a digital marketing organization, it's probably not going to work. So that's very important. It gives us advantages, but if people are unwilling to adapt to this, they're going to find a lot of struggle here, and that struggle is going to turn into negativity, and that gets tossed over your way, and that disrupts the positivity of your day. You want to surround yourself with like-minded people who understand this, who are willing to go out, and if they don't know things, learn things, be willing to go out there and, fall over, kind of trip themselves up with learning. I posted a very, very short Gary Vee video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he was just simply talking about people are unwilling to put a year or two into some of the social media, learn it, get negative and positive feedback, or they're unwilling to spend 3 or 4 hours to learn, something about a platform because they think it's too much. That also is going to separate the crowd. If you don't have a thirst for knowledge, if you don't have a desire to learn these platforms and extract value from them, you're not going to find the kind of success here that the other people are. And remember, you cannot take on a huge industry. This is one of the largest in the world with unorganized, ineffective, random action. You have to have a game plan, and that game plan has to be very specific in terms of what you want, how you're going to get there, and what you need to do to make that happen. In today's society, people that are really going for it, sometimes they get backlash. I get backlash on LinkedIn sometimes. I get backlash, from speaking with people. For whatever reason, people think that the crowd that's hungry for more, that wants to be ultra successful, are greedy, selfish people. It's the exact opposite. You cannot give back unless you have a surplus. So if you're making $5,000 a month and you're spending basically $5,000 on your bills, no chance to give back. You're making 30, 40, 50 grand a month. Your bills are 8, 9, 10. You've got an excellent opportunity to send the elevator back down, get behind charitable causes, and really make a difference. That's the difference in the mindset in today's society. If you're getting attacked for wanting to be successful, then just move on. It's not a big deal. You've got a crowd of people that understand what you're trying to do. And yes, it is something that you have to have the ability, when you become successful at this, to raise up other people, either by business partners, charitable causes, whatever it might be. It is okay to be successful. And that brings me to my next point. When you're talking to people, you have to learn how to read people. There's two mindsets right now. There's a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. And you can kind of see the differences here. The abundance mindset is that everything important is getting bigger and better as a result of the capabilities that make things faster, easier, and cheaper. On the opposite side, everything that's needed for the future survival and progress is getting scarce or running out. Nothing positive is getting bigger or better. Read an article about, maybe a year or so ago, where the guy was making his point for the end of oil. Oil was becoming scarce, oil was running out, and it was written in the late 1800s. So that mindset will be able to evaluate very quickly, how does this person view the world? If they view it with an abundance mindset, somebody I want to continue the conversation with. Somebody who has a scarcity mindset, probably not going to be the best business partner for you to bring in. And this brings me to my next point, planning. Rich people look for the long term. Yes, they're working hard on a daily basis, but they've got plans, 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year plan. Poor people plan for the Saturday night. They're working that W-2 job to get to Friday so they can go out on Saturday. And then when Monday comes around, they're right back in that same rut. If you guys look at the statistics of heart attacks on Monday mornings when people have to go back to work, they skyrocket. So the stress of leaving, on that Monday morning, going to that job that you hate, causes health issues. People brought up, poor and middle class, they inherit those beliefs, which is unfortunate. and that keeps them in the poor or the middle class. So what we have to do is we have to get our message out there. We have to break that mindset, take a new path, whether that's helping a client, whether that's helping a business partner. Just like what Diana referenced, we're trying to build a better tomorrow for that person, and sometimes that begins with helping them break that mindset they've been locked into. Leverage. Leverage is all about, or this business is all about leverage. You're using time, tools, resources, people, infrastructure, and that's really where it's at. You cannot trade your time for money in this economy. If you're making $100 grand in salary, it may sound great, but if you go 2-3 years without a raise, inflation's eating away at your purchasing power. The best way to get ahead in this economy is to create cash flow that grows and grows and grows. If you're sitting there with a fixed income, you're going to get hammered as we go forward. There's ways to make $1 million. I'm not going to go through all of this. You can work really, really hard for a lot of years, or you can use leverage, create a path that's going to get you to that point a lot quicker, a lot more efficient, and allow you to step away from them. Remember, you are building a cash flow asset ultimately that will allow you to step back. People don't need you. You've answered all their questions. You've helped them to the point. They can do this independently of you. For that upfront work that you put into that person, you're going to get a piece of that business for long periods of time. So once again, it goes back to the mindset. How do people view money? You want to talk to people, and you want to bring in the people who understand what it takes to get ahead in today's society. W-2. Doing great things for the company. Diana mentioned exchange sale. Everybody's paying a price. If you're a W-2 employee and your work allows for the company to have increased profits of X%, you don't benefit from that. As an owner, you're doing great things for you, your family, and your partners. Big difference there. Prosperity, success, and upward social mobility are achieved through hard work. Business model has little to no barriers. We talk about this all the time. You come in here, and you can build a large-scale organization where you don't have to come out of pocket for additional infrastructure, additional capital that's necessary to grow your business. And I've been in that situation plenty of times with businesses where Alana and I grew it to the point, didn't have the money to grow it anymore. So what do? Do you stick with that? No, we sold the business. Here, it's open. You can just go and build this. The only point of resistance of scalability that I always talk to you guys about is finding talent. And that goes back to what we're just talking about. If you find talent with the right mindset, with the right work ethic, it's off to the races in this business. When you are talking to people, whether it be a client or a potential business partner, this is what most people think about. How much taxes do I pay? How much money do I owe in debt? What's inflation looking like? How are my retirement savings vehicles looking? What's the problem with that? The problem is that people aren't concentrated on the most important part of this equation, which is producing cash flow. If you produce enough cash flow, everything else will fall into line, and you have opportunity, and all of a sudden a little 401k, a little IRA that you're trying to spread out over a 20-year process, not a big problem because you've got an asset, continues to pay you. Big difference, guys. Getting rich is not a fantasy. A lot of people out in today's society think the deck's stacked against them. There's no opportunity. This is one of the greatest times, and I think when we look back on this period of time, it'll be one of the greatest times in history to be an entrepreneur. It's the golden age of the entrepreneur. Take advantage of it. The reason most people never get rich, they never consider it as a possibility. It's very important. It goes back to mindset. If you don't think something's possible in your life, it's already been decided for you. You've decided that it's not possible. 76% of people live paycheck to paycheck. It's a terrible place to be. You're always worried. You're always in jeopardy of an emergency or some type of a situation throwing you into a substandard living. 50% have no money for retirement. Guys, if you are under the age of 50 and you're counting on Social Security to help you out, who knows what kind of condition the system, our country is going to be in. If you're relying on the government to take care of you, you are going to be faced with poverty. And you see that in today's society with people who are retiring. They're picking prescriptions over food. They're going back into the workforce. You have to take care of yourself. That is a main message of what we advertise to the general public, whether it's the business, or whether it's the client side, you have to be self-reliant. You have to set yourself up, take care of yourself, and then almost 50% of the people don't have $400 for an emergency. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, and all of a sudden you have an emergency, what happens? Well, people are going to the payday loan stores. People are going on credit cards, and that compounds on top of itself, and you find yourself in a deep, deep hole that probably eventually leads to some type of a debt default, bankruptcy, or worse. People don't know how to make money. Fewer people know how to keep it, and almost no one knows how to multiply it. You cannot multiply your money unless you know how to make it. And that's the very first point that we want to get across when we're advertising. How do you make money in today's society? It's by putting the faith behind yourself to get involved with something where you can really go for it. You know, a lot of things here, goal setter versus goal achiever. You know, it's a big deal. You can set a lot of goals, but if you never achieve them, what's the point? That's going to hamper, you know, your self-confidence, and all of a sudden that starts to multiply and grow on top of itself. Unconscious mind is 95% of the process. Get engaged, make things happen, visualization with feeling, emotion, creative imagination. Your power is then going to attract others. If you're, you know, on point, you're doing what you need to do, you're, you know, running things correctly, that confidence comes out. People want to work with people they feel they can lead them to their personal goals and dreams. See it to believe it. No, believe it to see it. So you've got to believe first. Like if you don't think this is possible, it's not going to be possible. And then get out of the rut. 55,000 thoughts per day, 95% are repeats of yesterday. It creates a rut. You lose your vision. Catch yourself. Create new thoughts. Create positive thoughts. And realize that the brain loves habits. Habits rule the unreflecting life. And you guys can see, you know, being truthful in life as you know it and forge a new path. Be truthful to yourself. What are you doing well? What are you not doing well? And you're never going to be happy and satisfied when you're going. You're never going to be more happy or satisfied when you're going after something. If you're working hard, things are starting to materialize, and you're building something, you're going to be happy about it. You're going to devote more time, energy, and resources that increases your happiness. Don't should on yourself. I should have done this. I should have done that. You live life just full of regret. It's going to pile up on you. So if you've had opportunities in the past, you missed them, you say, man, I should have done that or I should have done this. Look at this opportunity, grab it, and run with it. And remember, the accomplishments of any goal is the progressive accumulation or compound effect of small steps taken consistently over time. Remember, this isn't something where you work a little bit, you stop, you work a little bit. That, you know, disruption, you might as well never even start it. So a consistent rhythm of activity, letting it compound over a time period to get you where you need to be. With the seasoned entrepreneurs who are on this platform that will help you, it's definitely possible. And you've got to visualize your future. Many times when I'm on an ABC call, really the first thing that I want to hear back from the client, and I want to hear a defined answer. What do you want to get out of this? They stumble around and it's just money or they can't think of anything. If you don't know what you want in life, how are you ever going to get there? It starts with a defining point of knowing what you want. Once you know what you want and you can feel that with emotion, then you start to reverse engineer that. What do I need to do now? What do I need to do in the coming weeks, the coming months to get there? Remember, this is a school. You're getting paid to go to school. You earn a degree in disruption, distribution, and digital marketing. Your degree, if you graduate with honors, is lifetime income. Remember, you didn't show up at school, college, if you went to college or high school, and graduate after the first month. It took a long time, but remember, first day of high school, that first day of college, you thought, wow, you know, this is going to be a long time. And then it was snap of the fingers, it was gone, and you're looking back, wow, that really went by quickly. Time's going to pass whether you do this or not. Goal trackers are so important. There's so many apps out there. There's so many ways that you can keep track of your goals. If you know what you want and you know how to get there and you're keeping account of how you're doing, reflecting, and you're meeting your goals, those smaller, you know, stepping stones are going to get you to the longer term goal, which is nationwide distribution, virtual agencies coast to coast, and a cash flow asset that pays you very, very, very well. Idea plus hard work times time plus discipline equals success. It's not really a hard equation to figure out. You are going to have to pay the price today so you can pay any price tomorrow. Everybody's paying a price out there, guys. It depends on how you look at it. Some people don't even know they're paying a price. Coming in here, yes, you're going to have to pay a price. You're going to have to put 5 years into this, good hard work, not only hard work, but also learn how to be a better manager, how to be a better marketer. If you're consulting, how to be a better consultant. That's important. Just having activity without progressing on the learning side is not going to set you up for success. As an entrepreneur, you are the business. Remember that. Virtual Financial is a brand, but you yourself are a business. You're a brand. What is your brand? What's your message? Who's your audience? How do I get that message out in the most clear, concise way to effectively engage and influence the other side? You have to think like a millionaire, hustle like you're broke. It's very, very important. Have the mindset of where you want to be, but have the work ethic of the fact that you're not close to being there yet. Who's the boss? The poor are either trying to find a job, waiting to get a job, or making an effort to hold on to a job. Remember, JOB is just over broke. The wealthy prefer to work for themselves, keep more of the profits that their work creates. The rich have the confidence in their own abilities and skills. The only way that you're really going to get ahead is to tie your income to the revenue growth of a company like this. It's an amazing opportunity. Some people don't see it. Some people do. We only want the people that see it. So what's your game plan? That's important. When I talk to some people, there is no game plan. Well, if you go into the day not really knowing what you're going to do, the day is already a failure. So you have a day game plan, you have a week game plan, you have a month game plan, you have a year game plan, you have a long-term game plan. All of those things need to be put in place so you know the roadmap of where you're going to go and how you're going to get there. SVP, guys, SVP is not hard. You just have to, you're a business. So you've just got to make sure that you understand where you are. If you're in a vice president right now and you're trying to get to SVP, you should know exactly where you are, where your partners are, where your premium is, how close you are, so you can effectively manage yourself, manage your route to SVP, and manage your partners. Under the qualifications for Fast Track or Standard Track, 25 licensed agents, $75,000 in annual premium, which is $6,250 in monthly premium over that 90-day cycle, $2,100 a month, average of $70 a day in premium being written by your entire organization. These numbers are not hard to hit. You need to understand how to get there, and you need to map out for yourself and your business partners and let them know. Your business partners want to help you, but they want to help you if you ask them. And what do you get at SVP? Well, you get a top contract on the personal level. You're running a base shop, which entitles you to a managerial override on every single transaction that comes to that base shop. You create ownership, distribution. You're eligible for monthly bonuses, quarterly bonuses, six-figure income, and you're creating a huge asset for cash flow. It is realistic as an SVP to map out something and create an opportunity that gets you to 6 figures a year on a bonus schedule. You add in the monthly, you add in the $8,000 or $16,000 quarterly bonus, trillion-dollar industry, billion-dollar platform, heavy disruption. It's there for the taking. What's your plan? Your plan is your wealth mission. It's to create generational wealth. When people look back, grandma or grandpa so-and-so did this to set us up. This is not just about us. This is not just about our immediate family. You have something, a real opportunity to create something for generations down the road. Your wealth mission is simple. It's to simplify, plan, invest, preserve, grow, and sustain. That's going to come from building this business, taking that cash flow, making sound investments that further increase your wealth. If you get to the point end of life and you've got a lot to pass on, you've done a lot of charitable contributions, you should feel good about yourself. You get to the end of life and you're really only taking care of yourself. Have you used that life really as effectively as you could have? Activity and ownership of that activity is going to separate you from the crowd. Not only, when you look out at your competition, but also within the company as well. This is going to take a level of discipline. If you don't have that, you're not able to find it, you're going to struggle. Are you prepared to make changes and sacrifices to be ultra successful? If you are, you've got a really good shot of making this happen. If you're not, probably going to struggle. It's going to get overwhelming. You're going to start to get down on the business, down on yourself, lose the self-confidence, drift, and eventually quit. Really, the 1-2 combination of this business is building and learning. Talked about that a few minutes ago. If you can come up with that, 1-2 combination for success, like a boxer, that 1-2 punch, you keep throwing that, building and learning, building and learning, building and learning, you're going to make yourself or get yourself into a position where you find the success that you're looking for. And remember, success that you're looking for should include finding the success of the other people. You're just thinking about yourself. You're way too segmented and way too isolated. You're going to find success in this company, in this business model and platform by raising other people up and helping them get to their goals and dreams. Also, your partners need to understand, I've been on so many of these Tuesday, Saturday meetings. I try to get something out of every one, but after you've been on enough, it starts to become a little bit redundant. But you need to be on the company meetings. You need to be on the team meetings. You need to try to extract some type of value from every one of those meetings. If you're on 3 meetings a week, live or recorded, you get 1 or 2 things out of every one of those meetings. Compound effect over a period of time is really going to help you. There's 5 points. You have no idea what your true potential really is. The past is no determination of your future. Whether you've been ultra successful or not has no bearing on your ability to go forward in the future. Resources are all around to get you what you want. Just ask. 1 decision away from changing your life. That's not necessarily coming into the business. Yes, that was a decision that you made. But 1 decision, it could be a small decision. Do I pick up that phone today and make a call? Do I follow up in my CRM like I was effectively supposed to, with the text, with the email, with the call? Or am I just going to hide behind the keyboards and just send that email? And where you stand right now, you have everything that you need to be successful. Just worry about things under my control. You can't control what other people think of you, what other people do, what happens around you, the outcome of your efforts, the passage of time. Number 4 is a tough one to digest. You really cannot control the outcome of your efforts. You control your efforts, and if the effort is solid and the effort is continuous, the outcomes will be there. But on a day-to-day basis, short-term intervals, you have no control over the outcome. So the things that you can control, your attitude, your effort, your behavior, your actions, these are the things that you focus on. If you focus on what you need to, focus on the things you can control, everything else is going to fall into place for you. You've got to attack the day regardless of how you feel. You wake up and don't feel good. It's Monday, you don't feel like working. You've got to attack no matter if you feel really good or really bad. You've got to attack the day, and if you do that, like we always talk about, the compounding effects of the daily activity and the fact that you're attacking this business on a daily basis is really going to help you get to where you need to go. This opportunity is good. It's not good for everybody. Not everybody understands it. Not everybody wants to work for the end result. But it's good enough that all you have to do is share it, get some initial feedback. Remember, the engagement and follow-up. If you can learn how to create and resolve leads in a 24, 48, 72-hour period of time, it's going to make your work a lot easier. You're not following up with people for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it's going to allow that cycle of creating and resolving leads in a quick manner to find you exactly what you're looking for without wasting a lot of your time. Remember, if somebody asks for information about products, about the business, and you send them over information, you push them to watch the videos. We never push anybody to come in the company, but we do push them because we want to resolve the lead, because a resolved lead is exactly what we're looking for. A dumped lead because of no communication, not what we're looking for. Videos give you something to talk about. It also allows you not to have to spend time on the phone, 10, 15, 20 minutes explaining this business to somebody who may or may not understand it, might not have any interest, might not be able to get a license. So the videos do a lot of the heavy informational lifting for you. Not interested? What is it that you're not interested about? Now, I don't say this to rebuttal people, but it's good that for your own knowledge, what is it about the business opportunity they were not interested in? Because sometimes what somebody was not interested in may be a misunderstanding or a misconception. On the other hand, just for your own knowledge, what are people not understanding about this? What you're going to find is that a lot of people just don't want to work, don't want to put everything they have behind themselves, they feel it's too risky. Your day-to-day activity should flow like this. Really, the email campaigns, the calls, the ads, the social media, all leads, and that feeds your CRM. And then the CRM has the additional process of being able to put people in different slots. Potential business partner, potential client, or neither. So all of this is going to fuel and feed your CRM, and your CRM is effectively going to put people into the places they need to be, which is the resolution, either A, B, or C. Really, not in the beginning. The beginning, we're going to do this for you. But after a while, can you hold an intelligent and influential conversation about virtual financial? If you can, then all of a sudden you start talking to more successful people, you start bringing in more successful people, and that's only going to fuel your organizational growth with solid partners. Warm market, it's easier, not necessarily easier to build, but it's easier to communicate with. And that's why we start with a tier 4, tier 6, really getting those names in, because you can't talk to your warm market, you got no chance of being able to talk to social media or cold market. So if you put 20 names in that CRM and you get absolutely nothing out of it, at least you're going to know the process of how to work the CRM, the ABC script, the things that you need to do so that when you go out in the open marketplace, it's a lot easier. Once again, if you can't talk to your warm market, how are you going to talk to anybody? So that's very important. Like I said, you might get things out of it. If somebody comes in your organization, they start to build the warm market, and they get something out of it, it's going to give them, fuel and motivation maybe to add more names and go after it. Remember, we talk about the upgrade market. Putting 20 names in there, it's a high probability if you approach people correctly, there might be a possibility for an upgrade in there. And you need to know how to reverse engineer. So where does someone want to be? How can they get where they want to be? Are they currently on an avenue or path to get there? What's it going to take to get there, and how should they proceed? And that comes from the upfront conversation of understanding a little bit more, like Diana said, show interest in them, say their name. If you learn how to build rapport and get that credibility, they're going to divulge information that will allow you, like I said, to reverse engineer this back to what action do I take now? I'm not going to go through all these, but these are questions. If you get stuck in a conversation, the easiest thing to do is ask a question. If you're on the phone and all of a sudden you haven't heard from the other side for a minute and a half, 2 minutes because you're just throwing information out there, that's a bad sign. You want to get to know the person, show interest in them. Easiest way to do that is to ask questions. There's some more over here. You guys can read through it. We're just filtering through the people to make sure we're bringing in the right people. And a lot of that information that you need from your side is going to be come from asking questions. Simplicity. Best ABC calls are not a sales or a company pitch. Those are the worst ABC calls. They're one-on-one conversations where each party gets to evaluate the other, see if this is a good fit from both sides. Major part is asking questions and listening. Cold calling. This goes back to the same thing. If somebody's never heard of you, never talked to you before, you build interest by showing interest. That's how you master conversations. And really on a cold call, the whole objective is to go from an interruption, this person doesn't know you, they picked up the phone, what are you calling about? So to go from an interruption to a planned conversation or a first scheduled interaction. Most cold calls fail because they're trying to wow that person on the other end. You're trying to move to a secondary interaction and make this entire process predictable for you. Also, stop babying people. Get rid of the babies earlier. If they're a baby on the front end, they're definitely going to be a baby on the back end, and that's just going to drown your day with negativity, whining, and that's going to have an effect on you. It's not going to be a positive effect. That's why we have filters on the front side. Get rid of these people that we call the babies. Also, to switch gears a little bit, we take a holistic approach to financial planning. That's exactly what Americans want right now. They want be taking in everything into consideration, including their health, when building a financial strategy. Transamerica's Wealth and Health Position allows you to take a holistic approach to clients' well-being, addressing both personal and financial health. It's very important in today's society. Life insurance is not a dirty word, guys. It has a negative connotation associated with it. Someone's sick or dead, you're coming with money in the time of need. You're not coming with a casserole on a death. You're not coming with a phone call or a Facebook post that says, hey, I'm thinking about you. You're coming with actual capital that allows a bridge that will sustain that standard of living and give them a fighting chance economically or financially to get better, versus the total financial chaos and collapse that normally happens. Decisions made today save or screw you in the future. If you're a consultant, that's a very important point to take into consideration. What your clients want from you, they want confidence, they want commitment, they want the correct tools. We want to help people plan for the best, but prepare for the worst. Let me think about it equals let me stop thinking about it right now. That's procrastination. We're not going to berate or belittle people. We're going to be politely confrontational, and we're going to push them to get these things done that they know they need to get done, but that procrastination stands in their way. One of the most sincere forms of respect is actually listening to what the person has to say. When somebody's talking, wait for them to completely finish, even if it's an awkward moment of silence after they get done. Don't overpower the conversation. Ask a question, listen to the answer. It's going to get you the information you need to make a determining factor on whether or not that person's going to, be a good partner, whether or not they're, learning from the consultation. That's going to allow you to direct the conversation. Yes, we have Transamerica, and yes, that's our, a lot of our sales come from the living benefits from the term, living benefits on the IUL, but we also have a whole entire platform. If you're a consultant, don't get stuck on a couple of companies or a couple of products. Learn those in the beginning, but continue to educate yourself. Crump last year had $2 billion in fixed income annuity business. Our platform did $600 million of that. So if you're calling to their support staff, you better believe they're going to want to help you. Platform's dedicated annuity team for us, now 61 people. That's the number. That's the option. Platform-wide e-apps. Why do I bring this up? Because market volatility is creeping in. If you stay on top of the news and you know how to effectively communicate with up-to-date data about what's happening, listen, if somebody is 5-7 years from retirement, fully long the market right now, very troubling place to be. It's our job to go out there and educate them on why it might be a good opportunity to start scaling back on some of that long market risk and look at things, maybe annuity or other products that can probably help them preserve their capital that they so desperately need. Like I said, we're getting back into social media hot and heavy. I think 2019, I want this to be a year where we really go out and we really assert our dominance in social media, not only from virtual financial side, but from the industry side as well. This industry is way behind in terms of being up to date. It's our chance to really take it over. So like I said, a lot of people said, slow down, it's too much. I don't understand what you're talking about. I posted or reposted the clip of a July meeting that was an introduction to social media. It's on the Facebook page. If you don't know where that is or if you haven't seen that, go back, watch it. And like I said, if you don't know where that is, let me know, and I'll get that over to you. That will provide a groundwork or kind of like a foundation. And towards the holidays, heading into year end, we're going to go into a lot more detailed social media talk. And HubSpot Academy. Got HubSpot Academy, it's a free account and a ton of free courses with certifications that you can even add directly to your LinkedIn profile as badges. That's academy.hubspot.com. They got how to set up a Facebook page, how to do Facebook marketing, social media certification. Really anything and everything that you could possibly want going forward is here. And then coming 2019, we've got a lot of stuff that we're trying to do on the backside here that are going to allow you guys or put you guys in a position where you have a lot more opportunity. Like I said, just trust that we're working on a lot of stuff. We'll introduce that as we become confident that we can introduce it to you guys, and it will definitely work for you guys. So that is all I have for today for you guys. If you have any questions, Alana's going to take back over. Or if you need help, privately, let us know that as well.
Another great training by Mike Amos. Thank you so much. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and so you all can go ahead and star 6 if anybody has any questions, comments, anything they want to add. Everybody's voice is valuable, and we appreciate everybody. Hey, David, how are you?
I have nothing more valuable to say except, as always, thank you so much for all you guys do. And listen, everybody, what Mike just said at the end is true. We are absolutely working on the back end to provide more opportunities for everybody here. Please be patient. It's going to take care of itself very shortly. I know what we're all up against, including myself, including everybody in this call, but we are moving diligently in the back world of our offices to try to help everybody. So I wish you all nothing but the best out there. Keep plugging away. This thing is beginning to have its own eyes and its own ears. And I think you really should look at that script and, yes, use it, but also learn it well enough to use you as that script, not verbatim. It will absolutely help you in a dramatic way. Thank you again, everybody, for all your help. Michael and Alana, you did a great job. Can't ask for better business partners. And everybody have a pleasant day. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you so much, David. Much appreciated. And if anybody else wants to star 6, we definitely want to hear from you. You know, also, we're available on a personal level as well. Email, text message, call us. We definitely want to help you in any way that we possibly can. And usually what I do is I leave it open for about, a minute, and then I'll turn off the recording and we'll close up the meeting. And I'll be looking to talking and working with every single one of you. Please let us know how we can help.